what you're seeing here is a 7-inch external display that I just got it from Lazada for 400 ringgit, and it does wireless CarPlay and Android Auto inside your car without any modifications. And here's a quick review of it. So I have no idea what this product is called because there's no brand at all, but if you're interested, I'll link it in the description below so that you guys can check it out. Now, as you can see right over here, the display panel is actually pretty slim. It's a 7-inch IPS panel with a 24 by 600 pixel resolution, which is actually pretty decent, even though it's not the highest resolution if you compare to smartphone screens. But for a in-car external display, I would say that it's pretty decent. Now, this thing is actually particularly useful for those who doesn't want to modify their existing car head units, because sometimes the casing might not look nice on your car's dashboard, or you probably just don't want to spend that much to upgrade your car's head unit, but you just simply want an external display that does wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, and this is it. Now let's take a look at the hardware now. Now on the right side over here, you get a couple of ports. So you get an audio port. So this thing basically connects over to your auxiliary port for audio output. So you also get an AV port just in case if you want to use this as a reverse camera monitor, you can do so. And here is a full-size USB port that supports flash drive so that you can connect it to play music or movies on this device. And finally, you get a micro SD card slot for storage expansion if you want to, because this thing has a very limited built-in memory of 256 megabytes, so you pretty much can't do anything such as install apps or whatever. So it's running on a Linux-based operating system, and there's no way that you can expand its features. And last but not least, this external display requires a DC port like this to power it up, and you basically connect it to your car's secret power system so that it powers up the display. Moving to the back, there's two speakers right here, which is actually pretty okay if you just want to casually use it to listen to navigation instructions, but I definitely wouldn't recommend this for music listening because it's pretty bad. Alright, let's talk about the features of this device right now. Now, as you can see, it has a tile-based home screen that is very familiar on some car infotainment systems. You, of course, you get CarPlay, Android Auto, AirPlay, phone link, FM transmitter, USB card, Bluetooth music, Bluetooth phone, and settings and wallpapers. Now it's pretty self-explanatory. So once you already have Bluetooth connected, you don't really need to do anything. All you need to do is to simply just launch the CarPlay icon right over here, and it straight away goes into CarPlay by creating a wireless connection, which is actually pretty neat. Let's not even just talk about performance. The screen quality is really decent, and I think this is something that even modern car infotainment systems don't really offer. The colors look really decent, and the touch response for wireless CarPlay is actually pretty impressive, even way more impressive than the one that I reviewed recently, which is an Android box called the KLGadgetTV Android box. It is really sensitive that you can just do your scrollings and so on. And by the way, let me just show you guys on how a music sounds like on the speakers. It's really bad, but you guys just gotta listen to it, right? So let's just simply play a track right now. You get the point, right? It's not for music listening. Now, of course, this external display does come with its proprietary car mount that I've mounted it onto my dashboard right over here. It's actually pretty sturdy, as you can see right over here, and even if bumps happen, it doesn't drop off easily. Now, this mount is actually pretty good. As you can see, you can turn the display around and tilt it if you want to, according to the angle that you want, and of course adjust it to the height that you want it to see. Then I have some impressive features to show you guys now, such as AirPlay. Now this is one thing that I didn't expect it to come with, because you can actually mirror your iPhone's display over to this external display if you want to. Now take note, you gotta stay on the road to drive. I mean, just do this when you are not driving, because just in case you want to stream some movies over to this device, because you can simply do so. So all you need to do is to pull down your iPhone settings once you are connected to the device's Wi-Fi, which I really just did, and tap on the screen mirroring feature here, and you will see a 8368U-AirPlay Apple TV device here. And once you tap on it, it just mirrors your screen over, and it's that straightforward. Now, another cool feature I want to show you guys is this FM transmitter feature, which is really useful if you don't want to have your auxiliary cable connected to your head unit to mess up wires, which is actually pretty useful for those who doesn't like to do cable management. Now, I know what you're going to ask is, if you can use Bluetooth to connect over to your head unit, but unfortunately, this does not support the dual Bluetooth mode where you have one that's connected to your CarPlay or Android Auto device and one that connects to another audio source. Now, that's not possible on this head unit, but I probably wouldn't complain that because the auxiliary cable port works well for me. All right, so let's turn on the features. So these are the selected frequencies that it has really been preset for you, but of course you can choose your own frequency to connect for your radio to connect over to this device if you want to. Now let's just try out this feature. So currently I'm on frequency 1080, right? And we are going to go back to CarPlay, for instance. Right, let's just simply play any music right now. Let's just play this music, and we're going to head on over to radio on my head unit here. All right, and let's head on over to 1080. All right, there we go. There we go. Now, before we conclude this video, let's head on over to the settings page right over here. Now, you get a couple of settings here, including system, where you can change the wallpaper, language, date, time, and update the screen if you want to. And you have smartphone. This is to change the smartphone detection mode. So depending on what device it detects, it will either go into Android Auto. Let's say for Android device, it will go either Android Auto or the Auto Link car mirroring mode, depending on which one you want. Now, of course, I would prefer to set it at Android Auto, CarPlay, and CarPlay Android Auto as the default setting here. Right? So you also have Wi-Fi settings. You can change the Wi-Fi hotspot setting that is used to connect Android Auto and CarPlay right over here if you want to. You get Bluetooth for connecting to your phone for wireless Android Auto and CarPlay. And you can configure how you want the panel to look like. Now, this is a display brightness, contrast, chromaticity, whatever terms that's right over here. You can change how you want the display to look like, which is really cool. And you also have, you can set the backlight level of during daytime and nighttime. Now it's actually pretty good. It's a really great brightness, but usually for nighttime, I will change it to a lower backlight so that any kind of blindness to me when I'm driving. All right. So CVBS, I'm not sure what is this. This is probably the camera output for the reverse camera. And finally, you have audio. You can configure equalizer settings if you actually want to, which is kind of cool for an external display like this. You also have volume. The loudest volume that you can go is level 40, which is what I've set here always to the max because I'm using the auxiliary port. And finally, we have driving. Now, this is where you can configure the settings depending on your steering direction because in Malaysia, we are right-hand drive, so you got to turn on this option for the UI of CarPlay and Android Auto to be optimized for right-hand drive. You got parking line for the reverse sensor, reversing mirror, reversing mute, and park line settings to configure how you want the line to look like if you have a reverse camera connected to the external display. Overall, I think this 7-inch external wireless CarPlay Android Auto display is a pretty good investment if you don't want to change your head unit because it can be expensive by doing so and it could damage your car's warranty if your car happens to still have warranty, right? So this thing now retails at 450 ringgit over at Lazada at this time of posting. I got it slightly cheaper at 389 ringgit because there was this promo going on, and now when I checked it out, it is about 450 ringgit. But still, it is a pretty decent investment if you really want such kind of utility inside your car, and I really highly recommend it if you can wait for the shipping time because this takes about 3 weeks to ship the day when I ordered, and thankfully it arrived in one piece. So that's pretty much about my thoughts about this 7-inch wireless Android Auto CarPlay display right over here. So stay tuned for more videos coming right up on the channel. Be sure to stay subscribed and follow us on social media, and I will see you guys in our next video.